Hi, it's Dean O'Brien here from OBrien Real Estate, and I'm lucky enough to have here from our Chelsea office Tanja Neven-Jones, who's just won our quarterly awards as our #1 agent. Congratulations and welcome, Tanja.
Thank you, thank you.
Tanja, if you can share a bit about your journey in real estate, how long you've been in real estate and why you're in real estate with us.
Okay, so I've been in real estate for 14 years. I've been with the OBrien Group for coming up to 4 years in September. I've chose OBrien because I really liked their marketing, their direction, but more importantly, I loved their people. There was an office in the suburb that I live in, so when an opportunity became available to work there as a sales consultant, I thought, you know, what a good time to move back into sales and do what I love doing best, which is dealing with people on a day-to-day basis in their lounge room, helping them achieve their dreams and moving on to their next property safely.
And when we talk about people, we're actually sitting here in the sunny Sandhurst estate, and would be fair to say you're probably the #1 agent in this area?
Yes, I've got some good competition from our local area specialists, but I think the thing that OBrien has done in here is obviously taken significant market share. It's been really enjoyable selling these beautiful homes and getting to know the locals because they're great people.
I suppose, what does it take to get to #1? And you say you got some healthy competition, because you have, and it's quite it's not a rarity, it's actually an honour to know that our #1 and #2 are actually two females in our organisation, which is exciting for us. So you obviously do it really, really well. But what do you see is your why? Tell me why.
I think what I've learnt the second time round coming back into real estate is more of a focus on people rather than the transaction, and not forgetting the people that I've already dealt with. First time around in real estate, it was put the sold sticker on, there's your keys, see you later. Since I've been back with OBrien, listing and selling, I've sold probably 30 homes for people that I've sold to first time around in OBrien. So they've only had the property for 2 or 3 years, but they've called me to resell it because their personal situation has changed. I needed to, you know, make sure that I didn't lose that business, and that was pretty much the key focus, is whoever I've sold to, I don't ever want to see another board on their property. They need to use me as not only a friend but a trusted advisor.
That's fantastic. Now, I know personally that you train a lot and you're a great believer in training. We've used Josh, and we've had Josh here today. Tell us a bit of the story how Josh has contributed to your business and what you feel is valuable.
If it wasn't for Josh, I don't think I'd write the figures that I'd write. Being in real estate for the time I have, the first 10 years was spent with one organisation that had a great academy and did a whole round training, which is what Josh does, but I just find he pinpoints stuff that is relevant, and I think that the key word is relevancy. You know, being relevant to the client, being relevant to the agent that he trains, and having the experience inside people's lounge rooms to know what the objections are going to be, and giving us the tools to be able to overcome those objections and get the business, get it signed and close that business. And you know, he's on top of any trend, any market changes, anything that's happening out there right now, he's a step ahead of, and you can always call him. And you know, without Josh, my business would still be, you know, I'd be flapping about at one level. I would not have seen the growth that I've had consistently year after year, which is, you know, it's coming up to 4 years now, and that growth again will be quite significant, and it's down to Josh, really is.
One of the things we actually trained on today is that you can't do it alone. You need a good team to get to where you want to go. So tell us a bit about your team, if that's okay.
I have a team, Chris and Dimitri. They've been with me pretty much the whole time, 3 years. They've both been with me, so I haven't had a revolving door of assistance. They know how I work, which is very structured. We have lots of systems. Everything we do is consistent, so when we list a property, there's a system for it. When we are dealing with buyers, again, there's a system for it. These guys are show a lot of initiative. I don't have to say to them, right guys, it's time to call these people, or it's time for this session, or it's time to do that. They just do it. They know my level, and we are constantly trying to raise the bar within real estate, within our core areas that we prospect. We're always looking for new ideas, and we're very, very quick to implement them, and that comes from the boys as well.
And that's a compliment to you, because if we think about that December market, that's actually reflected on this quarter, which is you've been number one. So having a great team is about building a great business. But on top of that, we've just got to let it be known out there that last quarter we had a number one that was a record. Then this quarter we've had another one, and you're our first agent to actually get in excess of 300,000 in GCI for the quarter.
The volume was huge. However, I still think we've got the capacity to do so much more, and I really, really look forward to putting the structures in place to be able to double our business. You know, that's the goal.
And let's talk about that, because I know the world is very much auction orientated, and they focus auction, but you don't. You're happy to do a mix of either or, and tell us why you take that journey down that path.
You know, with private sales, sometimes 100% of the marketplace can have a crack at the property, not just the small percentage of buyers that have got themselves timing-wise and financially in a position to have a go at that 15 minutes that they're allowed to. We very much focus on the client, what their needs are, the buyer, and how they're going to purchase.
I think we're often getting that through this whole conversation. It's always about the people.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, and let's talk about that, because some people could be sitting out here going, how does she do this? But you are not just an agent, you're also a wife and a mother. So how do you do this balancing act?
Yeah, I actually fell pregnant while I was in real estate. So it's not like I've come into real estate with older children. I've had to cope with babies, toddlers, you know, and now I've got a twin that has just seen my journey through real estate. Now, he's been great, a good child to raise. I've got a very supportive husband, a very supportive family, and obviously a good team of people around me in the industry. It is a logistical nightmare sometimes with school pickups, but I think it's very, very, what I need to do is I book my holidays 12 months in advance. We're heading off overseas again in 3 weeks' time, but that time is family time. I turn my phone off, and Chris and Dimitri deal with anything they need to deal with. So I try to take 2 family holidays a year where they are my primary focus. So
I'd like to thank you today, but I'd also take the opportunity that we're listening to your story about what you do and care about people, but a lot of people don't realise how many people you mentor in our organisation. I know you're not going to speak about it, so I think I will. I know that a lot of people, the first person they do is ring Tanja, and from a personal director myself, a lot of times they come to me, who should I speak to? I say, ring Tanja. And so we'd like to thank you about that, being part of our family at OBrien Real Estate, and congratulations on your fantastic success.
It's a pleasure to be here and part of this great group.